morning. Welcome to another brew day. Doing a little bit of a mobile cam here. Today is my first all grain brewing segment, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I'm using today. Got my camera here in my hand, so that's why it's kind of an extreme close-up, and I have to try not to look at the screen next to it, so I'm looking at the camera. Anyways, I'm going to show you my mash tun that I made. And this is it, right here. 48 quart cooler. It's got the toilet hose on the inside. Well, a lot of them call it toilet hose. I just brush, just a braided mesh hose. Valve on the outside. I made this a couple weeks ago. I've never used it, and this fits so tight down here, and it's sealed because I tried it with some hot water. About 170 degree hot water. But now it's turning, so I'm hoping that it will seal. If not, I may have to scrap the brew day. But there's my big brew kettle pot, and of course I got my original pot brewing up or boiling up some water. Probably about 168 degrees. It's at let's see, can we get that there? About 100 right now, 102. And this is what I'm brewing today. It's just a nut brown ale kit, Northern Brewer, 1 ounce of Fuggle. That should be relatively easy once we get to the boiling stage, but there's the grist right there. It's all crushed already for me. It's got 7.5 pounds of Maris Otter, 1/4 pound of English chocolate, 1/4 pound of Breeze Caramel 120, 1/4 pound of Belgian biscuit, 1/4 pound of special roast. So I'm going to take a page out of some of the interweb batch sparging that I've seen with a cooler like this. This cooler cost me about, well, the cooler itself was 20 bucks. And then various fittings, I probably got another 10-15 bucks in various fittings. So, you know, for like 35 bucks total, I got a mash tun. And if it doesn't work, well, I got another cooler among many. I got a clamp holding that open because the top doesn't like to stay on its own. So, so this is what I'm doing today. We'll see if I can get through this brewing session and on this first all grain batch. So I'm going to probably cut it here. I'll come back, show you my new brewing stand that I made, and I might even show you what I brewed yesterday, which is the video I made yesterday, which was the Private Eye Rye Brown Ale. It's bubbling away downstairs, and I got a yeast starter going down there, and for this batch I'm going to use Neo Britannia. I made that starter last night. It's going on the stir plate right now. So with that, we're going to pause momentarily for station identification. And we're back. I got the camera on the tripod. Water's at 162. I think I'm going to go to about 165, 168. Dump it in the mash tun. Let that heat up for a little bit and take a temperature, dump my grist in. Now I got 9.5 pounds of grain, and that at 1.25 quarts of water per pound comes out to just shy of 3 gallons. So I'm heating the 3 gallons on the stove. We're at 163 right now, and I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. So calls for 154 degree 1 hour sack rest. So if I'm a little warm after I dump the grist in, I'll have to add some cold water or maybe some ice, and I might hopefully I won't have to add too much. Hopefully it'll be right on. Now we're at 166. I think I'm going to shut that off, dump it in. I'm just going to keep this rolling here and go from there. Alright, 166. We're going to try this. 167. Try to do this without burning myself. Got a little on the floor. That wasn't real successful. And I forgot about the clamp. So, like I said, flying by the seat of my pants, looks like I'm going to crash pretty soon. Anyways, I'm glad that popped off. Didn't take out anybody's eye. So, spilled a little bit of water. Not a lot. As much as I thought I did. Okay, we're going to let that set for a minute. We're going to take a temperature, see where it's at, let it warm up. This is going to be a fun video. All I need is 2 more Stooges. Anyways, okay, well, for my next trick, I think I'm going to shut the camera off and try to concentrate on this. I might just keep it rolling. It's definitely hot in there. I don't think I have to leave it too long. Well, let's see what we got here. Here's the stuff. Take the wrapper off of it. And see how hard this is on here. They got some sort of tape on this. Cut it off with that pocket knife. And good stuff on. Okay. Alright. Here we go, folks. Let's try this out. Now, it's spilling on the floor, so spoon. I say stir it up. Make sure you don't get any dough balls, is what I've been told. Yeah, it smells really good. Make sure you mix it up. And yeah, I'm getting a few dough balls in here. And I'm not leaking. So that's always a plus. Okay, I'm going to do that. Don't really want to hit my hose in the bottom, but I want to make sure that they're all broken up on the inside. Plus that'll probably help. Where's my thermometer? That'll probably help cool it down. Right now we're at 1. See, I could have went a little bit. We're at 153. Big dough balls in there. Again, like they said, I probably should have heated more water than what I needed, but I didn't. Yeah, it smells really good. It's at about 152, so I probably would have been just about right if I would have went 168. Although I didn't. So a lot of dough balls in here. Make sure they're all broken up. Set that down there. I wonder if I can just add maybe some hot tap water. get some hot tap water going, and we'll add a little bit. I'm only 2 degrees off, so hopefully that'll be okay. I'll be back. Okay, after a short break, I still have about 10 minutes left on this resting of the grains. But a few things that I've learned from this trial session, and this is why I'm doing, just a kit, instead of, this is my trial run. I don't like how high this is for pouring the water in. I almost burnt myself. I don't like that. I got to come up with a different setup. 2, I think the hose that I have attached here is going to be too long, so that I'll probably shorten up. 3, 166 was not hot, hot enough water. Excuse me. What I ended up doing was taking about 180 degree water, about a half a gallon of that, and adding it to this. I lost too much temperature trying to get rid of those dough balls, and with the lid open I lost too much temperature. It had dropped down to about 148. Well, that 180 degree water raised it back up to about 151, 152. So I've learned that 166 is, I think it would be better to be higher. In other words, if I'm trying to reach 154, I think it should be, even if I hit 156 or 157, it'd be much easier to add cold water than it is to try to reheat more hot. So right now I'm going to do a mash out because it calls for it. I'm going to add 2 gallons of boiling water to try to raise that up into the 160s. That's just kind of what I've seen done before. So anyways, just a couple of things that I've learned from this session. Once I think I get a routine down of the temps that I need, and maybe where I might set this on something lower, like a couple of chairs, or get a step or something. I just didn't like how I poured that in. So anyways, I'll be back for more in this little brew session here. Okay, here's where I'm at now. I took the blanket off, sleeping bag off, at 147 degree water in there. Okay, so I lost 3-4 degrees. Alright, so I boiled 2 gallons of water on the stove for a mash out. And that's what I'm doing now. I got 7 minutes left. So mash out for 10 minutes is what I believe it says. Yeah, 170. Well, I boiled 2 gallons of water, dumped it in, got myself a stool to step up on because, like I say, I gotta either bring the stool in if I'm gonna do it up here or whatever, but I'll get that figured out. Dump that 2 gallons in of boiling water. I got 164. Alright, so I'm gonna rest it at 164. I'm also gonna have to try to remember all this to write it down on the recipe. So now what I'm doing is and I'm guessing at this because I don't know what the timing is on it as far as if I do the Vorloff, collect my first runnings, it's going to take some time to heat up sparge water. So I'm heating up sparge water on the stove right now. Alright, so far I've added 3 gallons to the grist. Alright, I added about a half a gallon to raise the temp slightly. Half a gallon, maybe 3/4. There might have been a couple extra quarts in there. Okay. So that's and then 2 gallons for the rest. So you're at 5, maybe close to 6. I'm gonna probably lose a gallon just in soak up of the grain. So, and maybe whatever doesn't actually come out of this mash tun, anything that could be left behind. So I'm heating 2.5 gallons of sparge water on the stove. I may not need all of that, and I'm going to heat that up to about 168 degrees, 170 probably. And in fact, I got to get my thermometer. And that's what I'm going to use for sparge. We'll see how that goes, and we'll come back and we'll we'll come back and we'll do another segment and see where I'm at. Oh, and what I forgot to mention the last time around is I'm trying to keep calm. So in order to do that, porter red ale from the I just bottled it a week ago. I wanted to try a glass. It's not fully carbonated, but it's pretty damn close. So anyways, I'm trying to keep calm, drink a beer, and come back to another segment. Alright, here we go. We're going to start the boil off here. I got my pitcher ready, and we're going to start this. Let's see. How clear this is going to come out. It's nice and brown. It's relatively clear there. Got almost a full pitcher. And it looks pretty clear. I think that'll be good. Put this back in. And I think I'll get my handy dandy, where is it? I'll get this here and see if I can get a reading off of this. I just got this, so probably don't need 156 I'm up to on the sparge. Maybe I can just do this. We're at almost 14 bricks, so I think that's pretty good. Let me reach behind and turn the light on. You can probably see it better. Yeah, we're almost at 14 bricks, so that's... I can't see the other side of the scale. It gives the wort on one side and bricks on the other, and I'm at about 14 bricks. So what do they do? Normally multiply that by 3. Let's see if I can read the other side of the scale. 1045, 1050, and almost 1060. That's pretty good, I think. As I said, I think this hose is going to be too long because it's draped into the bucket. Hopefully I don't burn a spot in the floor, or I'll be resanding the floor. A wood floor is pretty resilient. I may have to get something to set this on, but once I get my system down, I should be okay. But for a trial run, it's a nice brown color. Got a great smell. Let me see where my water's at here. I'm at 166 on my sparge water. I think I'm going to go 185. I think that's a good number to bring this mash up below 170. I didn't take a reading at the mash temp. Well, I was at 164 for my mash out. I don't know, flying by the seat of my pants here. So, anyways, I also have, stealing this from a video I saw, Don Osborne, to see how many gallons I have in the pot, and that'll calculate how much I need to sparge. I'd like to have at least 6.5 gallons, 6 to 6.5 gallons Normally I lose a gallon, so I want to come out around 5 to 5.5 by the time I put it into the primary. So we'll see. And you know what? I need something to prop this up so that I can get more out of it. And what do I have here? I'm ill prepared for this. Anyways, we'll be back for the second run. Okay, we're back, going mobile now. I just wanted to get a picture of this grain bed, and I propped it up with some telephone books, good for something anyway. And I think I pretty much got everything out of it that I can get out of it. So what I will do now is I'm going to shut this valve off, because I think I've gotten, like I said, everything out of it that I can. And right now, looking at my line, which is my boil line, let's just see here, how much do I have? Well, I got 5 gallons, according to the number 5. So really, I only need about 1.5 gallons of sparge water if I want to hit 6.5. Now, if I dump the whole 2.5 gallons in, I would of course be up to 7.5. So that would mean, do I want to do what I've seen before as far as let me flip this around. Do I want to do what I've seen before? Put the extra amount of the second runnings into another pot, boil it on the stove, and reduce it. I guess I don't know. We'll see. We'll come back and I'll let you know what I've done. Okay, right now what I'm showing you is my new brew stand. I actually found this in a dumpster, and it was actually just a square cube on wheels. Don't look at the ghetto paint on the front that I messed up on the weld job, but anyways, I cut out that front panel, made a shelf for it because I was tired of bending over, and made a brew stand for it. So, be back in a second. Okay, we're back. Now that my neighbor, Mrs. Kravitz, is gone, I can continue filming. Wow, birds are really making a lot of noise. Anyways, I'm out here at the brew kettle, got a rolling boil going, added my hops. I set my timer for 60 minutes, just one hop addition of Fuggles for 60 minutes, so that's pretty easy. I took a gravity reading, actually, with my, I can't even think of the name of it now. Anyways, I got 1046 pre-boil. That was before it started boiling, and now I'm going to see, I've got, I don't know if you can get that, I got 6 gallons of wort out of this. So I didn't add, back in here in the light, I didn't add my full amount of sparge water. I added about 1.5 gallons, and I come up with 6 gallons. So by the time I'm done boiling, I should be at 5, and that should be just where I want to be. So we'll take a gravity reading then, and see where we're at. But I think I did pretty good for my first time. I had a few mistakes. I'm going to show you another flash of my brew stand here. That seems to be working out. Mash tun worked. It didn't leak. I got to clean it out yet. Throw all the grains in my compost bin. But I'll show you this piece here. Okay, this is what I was showing you before when Gladys Kravitz was out. But anyways, don't mind the mess of my garage. There's my Dark Star burner, my 10-gallon brew pot. Like I said, I found this in a metal dumpster. It had a strange shelf in it held by springs. That's what the Dark Star burner is setting on. And I thought, well, why don't I just weld it to the inside, but weld it lower so that the pot is the right height. Well, our welder wasn't set up right, the wire feed wasn't moving, I burned a hole in it, and as you can see, I threw some crappy paint on it just to keep it from rusting, so I'll have to get some touch up. Anyways, that front there was solid, kind of like, let me show you the other side, kind of like that. Well, I cut it out and I made this shelf out of the metal. Took it up to the metal shop, bent the edges down. I had a couple of shelf brackets, so basically this stand cost me $0. Didn't cost me anything. And what I'm thinking of doing is, it's a flip down shelf. I'm thinking of cutting the other side out, just like I did on the other side there. Cut that side out, same distance, and then mount another shelf on the other side. I don't know if I really need it, but it'd be something to do. But that way it's on wheels. I can wheel it in and out of the garage, and I may have to increase the boil slightly. I don't know, it's boiling pretty good. Tell you what, this Dark Star burner works very well for outdoor burn. You know, it really gets the temp up fast. Anyways, I think it was a good brew day. British Bitter, the Innkeeper extract kit. I got one more bottle left of it. But I think I was pretty successful. I wrote down all my information for my next time around. And this is really, according to the directions, only a 1044 beer. So let me get to where I'm not so backlit here. So I got 1046 on my refractometer. I guess that's what you call it, refractometer, or whatever you want to call it. And I wrote that down. I wrote down my readings from the first runnings and the second runnings. Second runnings was about a 1027. First runnings was like 1042. I don't know if I'm doing this right or not. I did calibrate it with some not deionized water, but some distilled water. I'm going to recalibrate it again. I used distilled water off of my, because technically it should be off of my wort chiller from yesterday. I had some distilled water from that, because that's what it should be. Once you run that water through and it goes through that boiling, it should be distilled. Anyways, all in all, I think it was a good brew day. This is probably going to be a long video. I may have to cut in and out some things, but got some bugs to work out, and I think the next one is going to be a little bit smoother. So now all that's left is to clean up and have a couple of beers and keep calm. So cheers to the next brew session.